You know, a lot has been said about the average car price in North America really escalating over the last few years. It's now nearly $50,000. The answer to that, honestly, could be an inexpensive vehicle like the MGs that we're seeing out here in Goodwood in the United Kingdom. Now, full disclosure, MG is owned by SAIC, which is a Chinese company, and it is a state-owned Chinese car manufacturer. Let's just get that out of the way right up front. But we actually have now higher styled vehicles that are really attractive and gaining a lot of traction in the UK market. And this is one of the only Chinese brands that is really making an inroads into Europe, of course, thanks partially to its British heritage with the MG brand itself. This model right here is one of their more popular models. This is the HS. Think of this as sort of the competitor to the Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, etc. And the first generation HS certainly looked an awful lot like a Mazda CX-5, which is a direct competitor. On the inside, let's be kind, a lot of this interior is definitely very derivative, very similar to what we see in other market vehicles. So things like the shifter, the infotainment system, the steering wheel, those definitely have a lot of similarities to other cars out there. But then there's the price tag. These are typically 20 to 30% less expensive than the majority of the Japanese or European competition in the European market. So we're talking pretty inexpensive vehicles with a lot of room. The back seat actually has more headroom and pretty similar legroom to what you'd find in a RAV4 or CR-V in the United States for about 10,000 pounds less here in the British market. Also, pretty reasonable cargo capacity. Now, full disclosure, I'm out here with Tommy Micah from TFL Car, and we very nearly ended up with one of these as a rental car. I am still filled with sadness that it didn't quite work out. There were some issues there at the rental car counter, and we just didn't grab one. So let me just snag this camera from Tommy and ask him, what did you think? Are you still disappointed that we didn't get that MG there?
I am bitterly disappointed, Alex, because this is a brand, right? I'm an old British car guy. I love MGBs and TDs from the 50s and stuff. And, you know, to have this brand return, because it did go away for a number of years there, is pretty cool, but it's not at all what I was expecting. Do you want to take a look at this little 4 here, Alex?
Yeah, let's take a look at this MG4. Let's go start at the front here. This is their new, probably volume EV, actually. This is currently the second best-selling EV in Britain, I believe they said, right?
Yeah, so just behind the Model Y. And
this is #1 with private buyers. So corporate buyers prefer the Model Y. Private buyers are buying this MG4 here.
Well, you know, that the crossover we just looked at, there's an argument to be made that it's pretty similar to other models. This MG4 is so unique and it's so different than anything else on the road. Like these headlight designs, really pointy, right? With these cool little scoops on the side. And Alex, the headlight works pretty funny. It's not like I was expecting.
Yeah, these are really cool designs. These are up-fired LEDs. The LED is actually down there at the bottom. It's firing up at that reflector and then forward out towards the front. So that's a really cool design. Definitely has a swoopy look here. And the interior, that's much more unique versus some of the other MG products. This definitely has more of a European, Scandinavian vibe with the lines going on here. Some unique touches, definitely a different steering wheel than we find in the other MG models. Somewhat small screens, of course, compared to some of the other modern EVs, but I think a really attractive style and design. Of course, it's all about the price tag, because again, tens of thousands of pounds less expensive than some of those comparable EVs out there, right?
Well, we're looking it up, like an ID4 starts 37,000 pounds, 26 grand for an MG4, yeah, 26K. So I like this too. So you get this cool transparent taillight fixture, which extends the length of the car.
Isn't that cool? You can actually see the translucent sections there. Light pipes on the top, light pipes on the back here. That sort of recessed MG logo is cool. Very CHR there on the top. Yeah, you got like
2 spoilers back here. And this is a rear-wheel drive platform too, so it's not a front-wheel drive based vehicle. They say it's a dedicated EV architecture.
Yeah, so store space appears to be pretty reasonable down there. You got that flip up load floor, tire fix a flat kit down there, etc.
Yeah, it looked like you may have a couple positions there. Battery capacity, the base car is a 52 kilowatt hour. There's also a larger battery, as I understand it. Range, they're predicting 270-ish WLTP on
yeah,
this.
so it's probably going to be like 220-ish by the time it was EPA tested, if it ever, of course, was, because it's not coming to the US. This is the new X-Power version. This is the fast dual motor model with a matte paint job. I think that looks pretty cool, actually, too.
3.8 seconds from 0 to 60 on the X-Power.
3.8 seconds, and again, tens of thousands of pounds less expensive than the competition. And over here, we have some other expressions of MG-ness. We have the MG ZS here, because of course we're in Britain, so that's not going to be a Z, that's going to be a Z.
Oh, that's very Volkswagen.
Very Volkswagen, yeah, that little MG logo. I like that touch. I always like that when the logos pop up. Big cargo area because, of course, they are designed by SAIC, and in their home market, they definitely love spare tires. Lots of cargo room there.
You know, honestly, Alex, I'm pretty impressed with the, if not the quality, the quantity of car you get for the price point.
That's probably the best way to describe it. You know, the interior, again, in here, kind of a little derivative, very Volkswagen steering wheel there, some very other manufacturer parts, but you get lots and lots of car for your dollar, well, or your pound.
Or your pound, yeah. And there's like a lot of aero features, like, you know, the aero coverings on the wheels here, right?
Because this is the EV version. There's, of course, a gasoline ZS and an EV ZS.
And then this car is interesting. So this is another HS, but it's a PHEV. It's a plug-in hybrid.
Yeah, this is the plug-in hybrid model, which is definitely an interesting twist. Still with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. Again, we did not get to drive it, unfortunately. I have heard some horror stories, let's just say that, about MG's DCTs, but, you know, again, keep in mind that price tag. Same steering wheel in here, same sort of button bank here. Now, we did notice that all the climate controls are in the touchscreen in our brief moment with it, so that was definitely a little bit of a bummer there.
Great news. This is apparently available with a 6-speed manual transmission.
In the plug-in hybrid model?
I don't know, but that's what the sheet says. And
look at these seats.
Very alpha. With
Yeah.
kind of like the way these are stitched, you know, across the side.
You know, copycatting can be bad, but copycatting can also be good.
Alex, I gotta say, you know, for the price point, this car, the HS, competes with CRV, RAV4, that kind of segment. CRV in the UK starts at 31,000 pounds. 23 grand starting.
And look at that front end. It's no longer mini Mazda.
It's actually pretty good looking.
So what do you all think? Next time I am in Europe, should I really try and get my hands on an actual MG to drive out on the road? MG would remind you, and they reminded us today, that MG in Europe has not been all about tiny, lightweight sports cars. The majority of their history has actually been about affordable family transportation, and so they think that the HS, the ZS, etc., that all really fits in the lineup. But if you want something even more exciting, in Europe we are going to get the new MG Cyberster. Going on sale soon. This is going to be the most affordable electric roadster in the world. It's going to start in a rear-wheel drive model for about 50,000 pounds or so, dual motor model that's 0 to 60 in around 3 seconds or under for about 65,000 pounds. So while we are still waiting for some other electric roadsters like that Tesla Roadster, of course, this is actually going on sale soon. And who knows, at some point it may also be joined by a Polestar Roadster that you know is going to be a great deal more expensive than the MG. So let me know what you think about all that down there. Should MG come to America? Should this be the next brand to be resurrected on our shores? See all of you later.